So recently, I discovered this will make you a profitable trader in 2023 and beyond. So I decided to make this video showing you the ultimate 90% win rate smart money concept strategy. So that's exactly what this video is all about. But before we dive right into today's video, do well to smash the like button because it actually helps this channel so much. Let's dive right in. Now, the first thing you really want to understand is the hard time frame. Now, the hard time frame here, I'm talking about the 4 hours and the 15 minutes, right? So let's assume that we had already seen a, all right, so this is exactly what you want to see first. You want to see price creating something like this. So this is a bullish momentum, right? And you want to see the first failure of this bullish move, and that first failure can just be this move, right? Now, let's say this is it, right? We have our first change of character here. So this area, this zone becomes the area where we are looking for our possible setups. So basically, we could see this is our order block. Now, before this one, you can see that price have been creating several break of structures. So we have this as a break of structure. We have this as a break of structure. We have this as a break of structure, and we now have this as a change of character. So for the first time, we now have a change of character indicating that price is willing to go to the downside, right? So that's the first thing you actually want to look out for. So after you've seen that, what else should you look out for? You have to check out for liquidity, and in this case the liquidity could be possibly a previous high, previous low, or a double top like this, right? Or possibly a double bottom. So just have an idea of what I'm trying to say, right? So you want to see this high being taken out. So whenever you see that price has taken this, this high out, this any trade you take from here will be a higher probability in line with what I'll be sharing with you right here in this video. All right, so we'll go to the chart right now. So I've been able to walk you through the hard time frame perspective, what you should look out for on the hard time frame. Now let me walk you through exactly what to look out for on the lower time frame. So this is the 5 minute chart. Now on the 5 minute chart, basically what we want to do is uh let's see, okay, so let's take this to London session open so that you will know exactly how you can work this out, right? So the first thing we are seeing here on the 5 minute time frame is you can as well use the 15-minute time frame. So on the 15-minute time frame, we see that this gap have been filled by this momentum move. So when price pushed down, so let's see what's happening here. So we have this area as our order block, right? So we have this area as our order block, and we have this area as our order block as well. So I'm going to use order block and demand zones and supply zones interchangeably, right? So this is smart money concept. Now smart money concept is very, very broad, and these are some of the terms you really need to understand. All right, so we'll go to the 5 minute time frame. On the 5 minute time frame, what are we looking at? The first thing we're actually looking at on the 5 minute time frame is this high. So we have this area which had broken structure previously, and which actually caused a flip of the zone. And if we are to pull that out, then this would be it. All right, now this is the session open. Okay, we just have a London session open, but like I said, we must first of all know where price is coming from. So you have to first of all understand the area that price is coming from, because when you don't understand the area that price is coming from, it might be difficult for you to, to have a high win rate. So that's why it's very important you know where price is coming from in order for your win rates to be sure. Okay, so next thing we have to do is let's allow price to play out, because we have nothing significant here. As you can see, we have that we can see that price failed to break out this previous high. So as a result, the fact that price failed to break out this high simply means that there's a possibility that price is not willing to go up, right? And we could see that price just came into the Asian session high, right? So that could possibly be the the move for that day, right? So let's allow price to play out. All right, so we have this on. We can see possibly that price obviously did not break out that high, but rather price choose to react to this zone. Okay, so I will not call this a valid zone because price did not previously take any low before mitigation of that area. So whenever you are taking your setups and you see something like this, it's better that you just stay patient, right? You just stay patient. In just few minutes, in less than 30 minutes, everything should be able to set up. All right, so this is exactly how this thing was actually made on this particular day. All right, so it was a trade that I know will actually work out because we really understand exactly what we're doing right here, right? So we have our first break of structure after the mitigation of a hard time frame. So we have a break of structure here, and this is where we can now be looking for our order block. So where is our potential order block? This is our potential order block. All right, so we have this area as a potential order block, and permit me to do this, and there you have it. So now, before price broke this structure, we can see this momentum candle without any reaction to this zone, which makes this zone a very, very strong zone. I no longer trade breaker blocks, but for those of you who might want to test it out, breaker blocks are very, very good. But the reasons why I you know I no longer trade breaker block is simply because most majority of the time when price comes down and mitigate that zone, it might not take time before let me show you. It might not, let's say price comes and mitigate the breaker block, it might not take time before price will go back up to mitigate the other block. So instead of me to confuse myself, I just have to stick with. Now, you must understand that trading is all about keeping things simple. You must learn exactly how to keep things simple, because if you don't, you are going to complicate things for yourself, right? So that's why I've learned to keep things simple. And those of us, the student in the FXTD Academy, the premium membership, you don't have to pay, you don't have to, enroll into our mentorship. We have free content on the channel you can really learn from, but that's a way you can just scale up and have exactly what we do. Now, basically what I'm trying to say is this: I've been able to simplify these things into simple steps, right? So I have a session of 6 steps, session of 3 steps, and so on. Now there's some of things that you must understand, and one of them is this. Now, on especially on breaker block, we see that there was no reaction at all as price pushed down, so this becomes a valid zone. Now, for those of you who came from the retail world, those of you who actually have a taste of the retail world, I really do not really have much taste of the retail world at all, right? So basically this is a resistance zone, right? You agree with me that this is a valid resistance level, right? But in smart money concept, we call this a breaker block. Now when price comes into this zone, then we should be able to look out for possibility, but this would be the highest probability. This is the one that I would personally be looking out for if it were to be in a live market, unless the day I decided to take a breaker block trade. And if I'm taking a breaker block trade, obviously it has to be clean, and it also have to come from a higher time frame perspective. So we can see that price is currently mitigating the zone, but understand where price is coming from. So the fact that price is coming from a certain level, I might not be looking for we might not be looking for buys, right? So let's play price and let's see So it's either this we see price mitigate this zone, or we see price mitigate this zone. So these are the two scenarios we are actually looking at on this setup currently now. All right, so I'm going to play this. Let's see. All right, so we have a tag in that zone. So what we can possibly do is to go to the 1 minute time frame. Now if you don't understand the 1 minute time frame, don't worry. All you have to do is to keep following me on YouTube here and on Instagram, so that you'll be able to understand how to work with the 1 minute. Now I was not always like this. I will tell you the truth. I know not everybody tells you the truth, but I was not always like this. It took me time, it took me effort and practice, and it took me some resources, because I had to register for mentorships in order for me to gain full knowledge of what I know today. So you really don't necessarily have to register for mentorship. All you have to do is to pay attention to every detail that you are receiving from my free content. So we have this on. Obviously we can see liquidity have been created below this zone. So obviously we have liquidity here that we expect that price should come to sweep in the future. More so, all these liquidity. So we have another one here. So this can be potential targets for the selling market. So let's wait for further confirmations, and the confirmations can be in form of change of character, in form of break of structure, and so on, right? So let's see. And now we have a valid demand zone here. I know most of you might not take this as a valid demand zone. So it actually takes understanding. You must understand the market in order for you to know. So obviously this is actually a demand zone. It's an order block for me and for us in the FXTD Academy, right? And price decided to push back up. All right, so we are seeing a nice move to the downside. Let's play things out. Okay, so we have our first change of character. This is a change of character. Okay, so we have this area as a change of character, and if we look internally, we can see a little sweep of liquidity here. So we have a liquidity sweep. So these are some of the things you have to look out for. You have to look out for liquidity sweep. You have to look out for, the trend. You have to look out for change of character. These are some of the things you really need to look out for in order for you to have a 90% ultimate win rate. Okay, so basically, where will I now draw my zone? Now I know most of us would take this whole zone as order block. So if you take this whole zone, you are not actually wrong, right? But based on experience, I know price will not really get there if this zone is valid. So therefore this area becomes my point of interest. So I'm actually interested in this zone because this is where the order is lying. This is where the order is lying. If you watch my previous video, you understand when I was talking about something like this, right? About other blogs and so on. So in case you have not checked out that video or you haven't seen it yet, please do well to check it out, right? And I also have a full-fledged video on change of character as well. So basically this is exactly where I'm going to be looking for my sell opportunity. All right, so we have this as a 2.5 pips stop loss, and we could possibly target this low. Remember, this is liquidity, and we also have some liquidity right here, but you don't have to be greedy. So I think 1 to 7 is okay on this particular setup. 1 to 7 is okay. Yeah, we could possibly take 1 to 5 on also, right? So if we take this is just 2 pips, so this is 1 to 9. All right, so let's see exactly how things play out. Okay, so let's play price to see if we are going to be tagged. So further we can see more push to the downside, which is very, very positive. All right, so we have been tagged in. We're on this trade currently now. All right, nice reaction and nice reaction. All right, so at the moment we are currently in profit. So what do we see again? We can possibly see uh another push to the downside, right? Another push to the downside here, which is, now if you have been following me, you understand that I really don't take weeks as break of market structure, right? And possibly we could see something better, right? Which obviously actually happened. All right. So currently now I can boldly take this zone for a sell, right? Now this is exactly how we scale up trades as well, right? So we have this whole area, we have a nice push. So I'm going to take another entry. We're going to take another entry here. So this time around, I'm going to take about the 50%. The reason why I'm taking the 50% is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. It's because of the the point of interest that is being printed for us, right? So we're currently on this trade, and this trade is running 1 to 4, right? But let's target, we have liquidity here, we have more liquidity here. So if this were to be a live trade, let's say I take double setups, you can possibly take partials and allow the order to run, right? So let's see what happens if we're going to be tagged or not. If we're not tagged, fine, then we'll continue, we'll make do with what we already have. All right, so that's a nice momentum, and this is 1 to 6 risk to reward ratio. So you could possibly take profit from here, right? And there's nothing wrong in taking profit. Okay. Wow, that's a nice rejection. Wow. Okay, nice. So we have been tagged on the second trade. Let's see if it's going to play out. And yes, so currently now price is really giving us exactly what we actually want, which is very powerful, right? So this is running 1 to 6, this is running 1 to 9, right? So obviously we could see that full take profit have been hit almost on both trades, right? And we could possibly look out for this zone as well for another opportunity. Now, but this zone is not as solid as the first two we just took. All right, it's not as solid as the first two we just took. The reason why is because liquidity have been taken out already. Liquidity have been taken out, and look at this, price is reacting from this zone. So price can just possibly continue like this to the upside, right? But we still have a valid zone here, so possibly price is coming to that area. So we could possibly look for, set up entry, could possibly enter a trade from that zone, right? And let's see now, which is obvious. So if we had entered trade from that zone where I talked about, and we could say that would be okay. I know I would have taken like maybe 50%, so to be something like this, and this would have been my target actually somewhere here. So 1 to 5, I will just take it to 1 to 5, and you see we have already hit up take profit on all trades. Now you could see that this is very powerful. This is very powerful. You can see that price actually obviously went to hit a valid zone, and price can choose to reverse from this point in time. And at this point in time, we're no longer interested in the chart, because London session is actually about to get off, right? So this is exactly how you can really get up to 90% win rate. In case you want to learn exactly how to understand this, the real SMC, do well to check the video description to join our FXTD Academy, but it's not compulsory actually. This video, in case you want to learn change of character, and watch this video in case you want to improve your trading skills.